Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Squadrons Starfighter lore video. As promised, today we have the TIE SA Bomber. The TIE Bomber is the bomber class ship for the Empire and is the slowest and least manoeuvrable of them all. However, its thick armour keeps it alive for longer than any other Starfighter. Its powerful weaponry allows the TIE Bomber to outmatch any other Starfighter it comes across in a head-to-head fight, though as its name suggests, it is primarily used for bombing runs against enemy capital ships, other important ships, and ground assault. The SA in TIE SA Bomber stands for Surface Assault, which of course is a primary indicator of what their role is. The TIE Bomber was of course manufactured by Sinar Fleet Systems, and if you want to learn more about Sinar Fleet Systems, then be sure to check out the video I did on the TIE Fighter as I go over all the information there. For those interested in size, the bomber was 7.9 meters long, 10.6 meters wide, and 5.4 meters in height. Like the TIE Advanced X1, the TIE Bombers had inclined wings which granted it its highest possible speed and manoeuvrability whilst carrying heavy ordnance. The TIE Bomber was the only TIE in the range to have two pods. The starboard pod was the cockpit, now this was obviously used for the pilot, and the portside pod was the Ordnance Bay to hold the bomber's munitions. The cockpit pod included two forward-mounted laser cannons, the usual viewport, and an ejector seat just in case you didn't fancy dying in your ship, or if you wanted to swim in the cold, dark vacuum of space. The Ordnance Bay was divided into two sections. There was the forward bay that typically held concussion missiles and proton torpedoes, then there was the main bay that held even more missiles and torpedoes, or if you felt a bit cheeky you could hold up to 6 stormtroopers, thermal detonators, or proton bombs. Underneath the Ordnance Bay was a bomb chute that was linked to the targeting computer in the ship, and there was also a forward facing missile port if you wanted to fire anything forwards. TIE Bombers were used as the first line of attack, so to weaken large targets on the ground or in space before the much faster ships actually came into play. TIE Bombers were first used around a decade after the Empire rose to power, and from there on out can be seen in several episodes of Star Wars Rebels, most notably when the Empire were above Ryloth to take out Shams and Dula's rebel cell, and they were also used to try and take out the Millennium Falcon after the Battle of Hoth, among many other operations, some of which we will be able to experience in the Squadron's single player campaign. That is pretty much it from me today guys. Next week we will move on to the UN gunship before moving on to the final playable ship, the TIE Reaper. Thank you all very much for watching though, and may the Force be with you always.